What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Boots and Shoots Unfiltered. Jared, uh, this is episode 10, by the way. Desiree Sanderson, Major Desiree Sanderson, right? Our old polar bear too. So, we've been thinking about this episode for a while. It's like it'll be just we get to talk about a little bit about the polar bears, which we enjoy doing, right? It's fun, right, to do that. So to have her on and have her take the time, I know she's busy. She just, got over having his emergencies, some surgery done and stuff. So she's jumped on here with us and took some time in her busy day to sit down and talk with us and just BS. So thank you so much for coming on here. And Chris, do you have anything you want to opening comments?
Yeah, despite Desiree trying her best to get out of doing this, going as far as having emergency gallbladder surgery, we finally got her on. This one should be a good one for all the people out there that have been in a battalion or brigade level talk, right? As a commander, or should say as a former commander now, there are a small group of people that I gravitate towards, and I've seen other commanders gravitate towards. And one of those is your two, right? If you've got a good intel officer, you gravitate towards that person and you milk them for all they're worth because they're extremely smart and they're good at the job. Major Sanderson, Desiree is what I'm going to call her from here on out. She's going to call me Chris. Desiree was hands down one of the best, if not the best S2 I've ever had. And it was an absolute pleasure working with her. And yeah, I can't wait to share some serious stories, but then also some funny ones. She's got a lot of dirt on me, Jerry. She's got a lot of dirt on me. I don't know about you, but she's got a lot of dirt on me. So
I have a lot of dirt on you too.
Yeah, I know you both do. I might have to censor this. We'll see. I might go like this at some point, and it'll be game over. Yeah. But no, let's jump right into it.
All right, Desiree. Let's hear who you are and where you're from. This is your show.
Go ahead. Well, hi. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm Desiree Sanderson. Just as Chris said, I was polar bear too. I take a lot of pride in it, and I still talk about being a polar bear like to this day. And people still look at me with weird, like, you're a polar bear? Like, yeah. But anyways, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a Navy brat. So I grew up in Philly, basically all along the East Coast, but my family, we ended up being in Florida and we're still there. So Florida's home. I commissioned through ROTC at Florida Southern College in Lakeland, Florida. And I originally went to school to commission to serve within the veterinary corps and potentially do med services. Organic chemistry got the best of me, but I think, that's a blessing in disguise because got my number 2 choice and became an intelligence officer. And I'm really proud of that. And I just remember in ROTC, my battalion commander, Colonel Laron, he was MI, and he pulled me into his office to give me the news. And he said, "Welcome to the family, you're MI." And I was like, super, super awesome. But yeah, did my training out in Arizona, middle of nowhere. I don't really ever want to go back there because it's literally, you can't, you don't, I don't know if any of you guys have been to watch you.
Oh, I have. I've been there.
You gotta drive like an hour and a half to get to civilization out in Tucson. But it was a good time. Yeah, kind of. But I don't think we really knew what we were getting ourselves into as far as the intelligence community. Just being a fresh lieutenant, don't really know anything. You don't know how big of shoes you're going to fill and how real your job really impacts operations and stuff. But neither here nor there. I went to Fort Bliss after that, and I was assigned to 2nd Brigade, 1st Armored Division. And that's where I was put in the Brigade S2 shop. And Major Richardson, he took me in, and being the brand new buddy bar, it's well, what do we do with you? Where you can't mess anything up, because we were on that NIE mission, and at the time DSIGs was being tested, and so with me not knowing how to work the system, they're like, you're not touching this. We're going to put you over here, which again, another blessing, because they put me over in the fire cell. I became the brigade targeting officer.
Oh, nice.
And so there were 2 warrant officers in particular, and I wish I could remember their names, but just super charismatic, hilarious, and like really easygoing, and really helped me understand like what targeting is. And like gave me the confidence to be able to brief our brigade commander, Colonel Mazarakia, like just his decision support matrix. And he was like blown away by like how well I knew it too. But like it was because of the warrant officer.
What was his name again?
Colonel Mazarakia? Colonel Maz?
Was he a Ranger Regiment guy? Because there was my battalion commander. He was a pretty hard charger. Yeah.
Yes. And so like it was like really nerve-wracking to try to brief someone like him, but
yeah.
And like that was like my first time, and so just but he was a great leader, great commander, and so he gave me the confidence too in my abilities as for targeting as well. So because of all that leadership and mentorship there, like that's what I knew I wanted to do. I was like, this is going to be cool. At the time when I was at Fort Bliss, I got married, and my husband, Austin, he got selected for Ranger Regiment. Oh wait, I'm jumping ahead. After my brigade time, my targeting time, I went down to 11 Cav and did my AS2 time down there. A lot of fun being with the Cav boys. They're like a bunch of fraternity brothers.
Yeah. Was these brigades, were they light brigades, or was that mechanized?
They were heavy.
Yeah.
It was heavy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't Cav, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what they'd say.
I'm sorry, Desiree. Is there before I get ahead of myself, is there a difference between, because you served in light and heavy, is there a difference in the intel community, how you guys do things versus both those organizations, or is it the same? Oh, that might be the stupidest question on the planet, but I'm just asking. Like,
from a planning perspective, no. Like MDMP, IPB, that's all the same, but it's just like I mean, maybe it's just I don't want to say obviously, but like it's just it's more terrain focused and just the capability focused at that point.
Yeah.
And then even now being here at Fort Hood, being heavy again, but from the test side, and being reminded of like the amount of land that these tanks and Bradleys have to cover. Yep. I'm acquisitions now, and so it's like I can't help but to put my intel hat on. And so driving through the Fort Hood training area and trying to understand it, because I've been light for so long, like light infantry, like I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is just a lot to cover. So, but I mean, at that time when I was with 11 Cav, again, I didn't really know what I was doing at that point. Just lieutenant, just doing as you're told and building different collection matrices, and like, okay, like I'm good. But
yeah, Jerry, I remember when I was a lieutenant in Korea, I was light infantry, right? And you remember when you were platoon sergeant or squad leader, your map board was like literally a folded up map about that big, right? And then I go to Fort Lewis, where I'm in a striker at this point, and we're getting ready to go to Iraq, and I'm doing the train up and everything, and I pull out my little bitty map board. My guys are like, "Sir, that's never going to work." Like, what are you talking about? That's all you need. It's like 10 grid squares. No, sir, not in a striker, not in a striker. So yeah, it's a lot different as far as space that you're going to cover there with the maneuver guys.
Hey, Des, too. I know, like the lieutenant in the infantry, right? When they come in, they have that platoon sergeant that they kind of get like attached, like teammates with. How is it in the intel world for a new lieutenant? Do you have that kind of support on that side? Did you have someone that kind of helped you along, or?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Which brings a smile on my face. Staff Sergeant Trammell. He took me under his wing. He was the NCOIC for the S2 shop with 11, and again, I don't know how. I just keep getting put with like all these like goofy dudes, like just great. Great sense of humor, lighthearted, so much fun to be around. And it just made the work environment so much more relaxed where I am comfortable to ask the stupid questions and like, and so he was a great mentor, along with my S2s as well. But any question or anything that I needed, I would always go to Trammell.
Nice.
But so, yeah, I guess so that platoon sergeant equivalent, it would be more of like that NCOIC.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, now I can, I earned my spurs. I got my Stetson, everything you can see up there.
Yes.
I was really proud of that. So like I could keep up with the guys. Like I proved myself. I did it,
Yep.
so. But now getting back to being married, Austin getting selected for Ranger Regiment, Mac P, I wanted to be with my husband, and Branch, they were like, well, the stuff that's available at Fort Benning is just like basic training XO, and like that's a career ender. You don't want to do something like that. Like, and so they put me at Redstone Arsenal, which never heard of that place in Huntsville.
Oh yeah,
hidden gem.
yeah.
But it was with a counterintelligence unit, and I was going to serve as the XO. So I don't know if you caught on, but like most lieutenants for intel, they do serve as PLs. But I went through my career not having any PL time. I just targeting officer, AS2, and now straight into an XO position. But this was from more of like the NSA like side of things versus like operational.
Yeah.
And being within the counterintelligence community, I think that's what makes me so anal and very analytical with like my thought processes and stuff, because it was such an eye opener. Because our unit, 308th MI, did like real world counterintelligence for the United States. And so my company was Bravo Company, and we were the Southeast sector. If you made a quadrant out of the US, like we were the Southeast. And we were the largest company. We had 10 different field offices scattered throughout, and having to go TDY and visit all of them. That was a really cool experience. And it was definitely a different XO experience. Like after being a company commander and seeing what my XOs had to do to keep the company afloat, like I applaud them, because my XO time was really different. Like really, like we had warrant officers and civilians that were agents that had concealed carries. And so like literally like I had maybe like a few rifles, like in just like a little like safe, like the hand receipt, and having to do all the SI, like it was very minuscule. And I had a really good supply sergeant Gahal. He helped me get through being an XO as well. But the more interesting stuff, the counter intel, like that was really cool. And that was maybe a small regret for my career. Like I wish I had gone more specific counter intel. But I had
that's a good question, Des. Sorry. So with different branches, you have the ability to do things like that, right? With infantry, the most I get is I'm either light, I'm airborne, or I'm riding around in some sort of vehicle. With intel, y'all have the ability to kind of branch out and do different things. So counter intel kind of fell in your lap there. What other options were available for an intel officer of that time?
So the other options, like I didn't realize that you could specialize like at that time, but knowing what I know now, like I've seen like captains specialize more in SIGINT, and like those are really like the only two that I know is just counter intel and SIGINT. I'm sure there's more, but I haven't really done much of like a deep dive on that. I was really just absorbed into the counter intel community, and being able to like I wasn't trained in counter intel, and that was what the problem, like why I didn't go, was because the training duration is so long. And at the time, I think it was like a year or something like that.
Yeah.
And at the time, like being married, like we wanted to try and be together once he was done with regiment, start a family and stuff like that. And so it's just, the stars didn't align.
Yeah.
Which is okay. And because one of my battalion commander, he kind of like warned me like, hey, sometimes like, yeah, this is a great option, but there's potential that you could pigeonhole yourself and like your career would just kind of stunt.
Sure.
And so I took that as kind of like the door closing, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go more operational. But it was really cool. Like the agents would take me on like follows. So like, I know how that works. Being like, and I mean, it's true. Like if you see something, say something, and something's suspicious, like there is an agent that is assigned that will like investigate and look into it. And when I say look into it, they can get into the nitty gritty details of people's lives. And if there's enough to do something, there will be a pattern of life like follow conducted. And I was able to sit in on something like that, just sitting in the back of the van, following somebody.
I'm picturing right now, Jerry. I don't know, or Des. Oh my God, it's a show on Amazon where they're CID, but they do a lot of counter intel stuff. I'm picturing Des riding around, got her 9mm hidden back here. You know, oh, there he is, right there. There he is. Go.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. Like I got just being able to see the techniques, and like if you lose the person, like how someone else on the team can like swoop in and like find them and relocate. Like I don't know, call it creepy, but the whole pattern of life thing like is so intriguing.
Yeah.
And then just it was eye opener too with like in particular there was an event in Orlando that we were providing coverage for, and the amount of like Russian, Chinese like agents that go to these events to spy and see like the technology and like what the United States military, everything is like up to. And like we, with those events, like we get the by name list of everybody that attends it. And so like we can cross check names and we know like who's who, like, and so being able to do like the spy stuff, like I got to hear the code words and watch how they do it. And I literally looked at one of the warrant officers. I was like, I feel like I'm in a movie right now. Like because I wasn't trained, so I couldn't go do all this stuff, but to see it was really cool. And I don't know, I take security really seriously, and after witnessing something like that, and it's just like, whoa, like it is true. So
yeah,
but
it's such a cool job. I just like have so much respect for the intel community and like our folks to do that, because it's like, I mean, me as an infantry, I can't do anything without you guys. Like you guys give us, like, we have to have that information to do our missions, right? So it's just it's to me, I'm just fascinated with it because it's just really, really awesome. Like for our young NCOs that are, or even people that are interested in it, man, it's a really cool job, man. And if it ever pops up on your radar to do it, you should go do it, because I think it opens up a lot of windows to do, just do a lot of really cool things in the military.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, absolutely, it's so much fun. It's so intriguing. And then I guess during my time there with Austin being at regiment, he gained like relationships and stuff with like all the staff. Being a PL at regiment, all the staffers and stuff, and so he knew that the S2 shop, they did a augmentee program, and you have to apply for it to get selected. And so submitted my application and got selected and was able to deploy with Ranger Regiment, like as an analyst in the shop, like without having to go to Ranger school and do all that craziness. I found the loophole,
There you go.
get in there. Which was really cool. And like there were a couple other lieutenants too that got pulled in with the augmentee program. But yeah, going through like the psych evals, the going to the JSOC training at Fort Bragg, and like just getting to the real targeting. Like this isn't like we're going to the field, guys.
No.
Like this is like legit, and like I know you guys know that with your.
This is like cutting the head off the snake kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, and at the I went. It was 2017 when we deployed, and did like the full Ranger Regiment rotation out at Bagram. We were out on Camp Alpha.
Des, so what did you? Sorry to interrupt you. What did you think about the culture when you got there? You know, coming from like, you know, no shot to the other organizations you were in, but like coming from into
First
that,
Cav to Redstone Arsenal. Now you're down to
Ranger Regiment. Like, were they receptive, or was it just a different culture? Like, these dudes are hardcore. Like, because we talk about it a lot with Chris and I. We talk about paratrooper culture and all that kind of stuff. And it's like there's different levels to this thing. Ranger Regiment's on its own other level. Stuff. So, in regards to like standards and shit, they take it pretty serious. So, how was it there when you first came in?
Very, very receptive, very welcoming, and the culture there I love because like everyone is there to do their job. Like there's no like anyone being lazy or like feeling super jaded or like, you know, everyone there has a purpose and like they're there to like fulfill it, and they love their jobs. And it's a very like common sense community too. So, like they're like, it's just cut and dry. Like this is the standard, this is what it is. And like, but then also like, you know, people's lives are on the line. So like, we're going to train hard. You're going to do it right. And like, let's fucking go. Let's do it. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and once we got put into we were in the jock and just, you know, got to see like all the screens again, just feeling like a movie, you know, it's just like, okay, like this is real. This is real life. Like
Des, when you went in there too, did you, like I don't want to get into like the sensitive side of stuff, but like the you know, things that you had on hand in that organization as an intel officer, right, versus what you would have at first, like, whatever, right? Like what I mean, you probably walked there like, well, I have this reach to do this, I have this reach to do that, like whatever that is. That was probably like pretty badass though. Like you had so many different options for you
toys to play with. Yeah.
There would be every night we'd go through like basically like the collection matrix and like, okay, which targets are we going to be collecting on the next 24, 48 hours? And like that night, like we put in the request and like you get it. Like no, whatever we wanted, like that's you want it, you got it. And as long as there was, you know, justification, which with Ranger Regiment, like there's justification. But we were watching some pretty like high priority targets and just individuals. And like it was just really eye-opening to the impact of intelligence for missions. Like I got to observe like raids being conducted and like the importance of knowing like if we have dudes going into this compound, like we need to know like the slant, like how many women, children, men are in there. We need to know like everything. Like there was a joke once, like they went in to go like capture a guy, and like the importance of just being observant. I learned that on this deployment because we thought we were watching the guy, and the joke is that there was a haystack and this dude like hid in the haystack, and we had the guys like scrambling all over the compound looking for him, but nobody knew where this guy was. And but then later on rewatching the tapes, it's like this, like he was like right there.
But it's got to have it not compounded, but the idea of understanding patterns of life from the counter intel side, now going over to the JSOC side, right? Because you and I know this, and Jerry knows this, right? It is all about developing patterns of life so that you watch these people over time, right? You notice that they go to this spot for a while, then they come over here, then they go here, and then they, every so often they go back to these different spots. So that's got to have done you well, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. And that's where like the creepy comment I made earlier, like I got really good at like watching like where my targets were going. And like super like it's nitty gritty details too. Yeah. And it's just like, and there's like the downside, like, watching your target go home to his like wife and children, and he's playing in the courtyard with his kids, and it's like, oh well, daddy is a terrorist trying to kill Americans.
Yeah.
And like, so, but like that guy in particular, like just triggered something for me as far as like detail oriented. Like, dude went to work and we built up the target package because it was literally just him, like in the building, like, and got him. And, whenever we do a strike, you gotta get PID for that, or positive identification PID for the BDA, the battle damage assessment. So like, so just watching like the rubble, and I swear every target, they're like cockroaches. They somehow like survive and like crawl through the rubble.
Yeah.
Watch out. They really are. They really are.
There would be somewhere it was like that, where they'd be cockroaches just alive still. Like how? And then like the duds, of course, is always just like whenever a dud happens, like, ah, shit. Like, but this guy, like it's like, again, movie kind of thing where his arm like reached out of the rubble, and like you could like the watch that he wore, like this was a fancy watch. And like, what is this dude like doing with a fancy watch like that, like in Afghanistan? Like, I don't know, but like his watch was glimmering in the sunlight, and like just seeing it on the screen, like, yep, dude, like this is him. And like we had like a bunch of pictures with him with the watch, and like, so it's just little stuff like that, and I just find it so cool. Like,
yeah, were you guys conducting a large amount of strikes like all day? Like, what was it pretty for everybody out there? It's like, yeah, you're probably smashing people all day long, but
the ROE, and like I know we'll get into it when we talk about our deployment, but the ROE was very different. I guess like just small brag, like I have maybe 450 like EKIA under my belt just from that deployment.
She's a fucking widowmaker, man.
So
that's why I asked that question, because it's bad. I mean, I'm just like smacked.
I know. It's like, it's really hard because it's like, yeah, it's a human life, but like, it's ISIS. Like, I don't know. Like, it is
no fucks given here.
Yeah. Like,
hey, was your cell bigger? Like, did you have? I know in our battalion it was very small shop, but like did you have like I'm sure there was a bigger. If you can't say the numbers, it's fine. You had like a bigger. Obviously, there's more stuff happening during the day. You got all these different, systems that you could use to conduct your business. You have, different intel, soldiers. Like, what was it? A bigger group, or was like than what you traditionally see, or?
So more specifically, like as far as like my analyst job,
it
was like typical, like what you see like at a battalion, just small.
Right.
Like our section, we literally just filled a row of like computers, but we had access to all of the ints. Like I could walk over, like GeoInt was literally across the aisle from me. I had SIGINT in one corner, like, and then like more in depth, like into, so we could reach and grab and get what we needed in order to build our target packages. Because like if we literally if you saw two guys walking together, like that's strike. They had to have, if they were carrying weapons, or if you saw like a whip, like an antenna whip, like that's a strike. So like we had to build target packages.
You're gone.
Yeah, like
you got.
Here's what it is. And then, or even better, you find a dude riding a horse, because like that meant you had power. So like if you see a dude just riding a horse, like done, like that's the hardest part, because I have a heart for animals, just like hitting hitting the animals and like the donkeys and stuff.
Oh.
But it is what it comes with the job. But yeah, no, but to answer, yeah, we like to spin up a target package like a quick baseball card on that specific area. Yeah, I had to have outreach to all the different ints for, again, we have to have justification for the strike. Yeah. But the process was super quick. And if it was like a higher level, like HVI, colonel or the commander would come out, he'd be the one to hit, say push, and like strike would happen. Like, so he'd be out on the floor to make sure like that the bigger targets were being taken care of.
Yeah, that's one of the key differences, right? When you're looking at high value individuals and stuff like that. Over on the conventional side, we might accidentally happen upon one of them, but then you as Polar Bear 2, me as Polar Bear 6, Jerry as Polar Bear 7, we don't have that immediate capability to be able to go over to the other ends. We're calling Resolute Support Headquarters, or
call everybody at the mother,
or quite frankly, our little friends in the center of our compound that we don't like to talk about, right? Hey, maybe you want to check this out, kind of thing. Whereas over there at JSOC, I mean, you've got the power of God right at your fingertips, and boop, you're gone.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. But I mean, there is a downside to like the higher level like operations too, because I experienced, we lost 2 Rangers on one of the missions in Melmon Valley, trying to get like the top HBI, this was like the number 1 dude, like compound raid. And yeah, we lost Sergeant Cameron Thomas and Sergeant Joshua Rogers that night. And another just eye-opening experience for me of like the severity of the job, how important it is to report the intelligence that's out there. We thought we knew everything that was going on with that compound. We were watching it for days on end, but at the end of the day, there were things that we didn't really know. The underground network tunnel systems were more sophisticated than we thought, and as a result, we lost 2 Rangers. And I didn't know them personally, but to see that the flag drawn caskets being put on a bird to go home, like you can't help but just bawl your eyes out crying, and just like I don't know, that was just like a motivator of like, okay, I need to be better. Like this, this is serious. Like it was serious before, but like even more so, like, and so I don't know, that was definitely a game changer for me. Again, just the severity of this job, how important it is, and like why I love what I do.
Des, I'm gonna always ask this a lot of people, like, does this affect you a little bit? Like, he's got 400 pushes of the button, and then the 2 Rangers. Like, how do you kind of like deal with that? Yeah, that's a lot. That's like something that, yeah, I mean, it's on the screen or whatever you're watching. You are still killing somebody, right? But like, how do you deal with it in today's world? Like, how do you kind of cope with that, right? I don't know if I mean, so that's a lot of death and destruction that you've seen. Like,
for as far as like the coping mechanism for me with like the targets, I don't know, that, call me dark and sinister, but like I don't really feel anything for that other than just like a little bit of a good old American pride.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
But with Thomas and Rogers, at the time it was really hard because like it's just like those are your brothers, and that's the ultimate sacrifice, and they got their families at home that lost them. And I guess I can relate more so now, because more recently I lost a friend of mine from college, Major Cody Cork, in these recent strikes that happened. And the pain that I feel for Cork, like I can only imagine, like as a family member,
right,
that happening. And so
yeah,
seeing Cork's family first, like right in front of me, it's just devastating. But like the cost, like the cost of an American life, with all this.
Yeah.
But with the coping, again, it's a motivator. I want to be better. I want to do my job better. And even now, even though I'm not in Intel with acquisitions, like by being a well-rounded acquisitions officer, I'm still impacting like the war fighter at the end of the day. Yeah. And so I don't know. I got Cork right here, and as my reminder just to be better. So yeah.
Des, how do you, because you're a senior officer, like stuff like that. How do you, like your Intel, your young soldiers and stuff that do that, and seeing something like that happen, how do you say, hey guys, stuff like that happens in our job. Like we're not always going to get it right. So like, how do you tell those young soldiers, hey, like let's get the next one right. We're going to look at the tunnel systems more next operation. Like, how do you kind of communicate that to them to keep them going when something like that's like some kids probably say, oh man, do we fail? Like what happened kind of thing? How do you, as a leader in the Intel community, keep those young kids, those young NCOs going?
With that incident in particular, the soldiers that were with us, they were already Ranger guys. And so I don't know, I never really had to like teach, coach, mentor them in that kind of aspect, but what it teach me was actually being Polar Bear 2, with teaching like my analysts the importance of like attention to detail. I don't know. One of my proud training moments being Polar Bear 2 was when we were out in the field. I think it was platoon sticks or something, but I had my whole shop out there, and I took them to like one of like the villages in Fort Drum. I can't remember the different names of them, but there was the one that was like in like the northwest like sector where we were doing the platoon sticks. That was like close to training where we were at. And so I took them there first, and I was like, okay, what do you see? Explain the terrain. Imagine you being one of those infantry guys doing their platoon sticks right now. Like, explain like what you see and what's going on, and like how they need to get to these buildings here.
Paint a picture for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, even, I mean, jumping ahead in my story, like I attended the maneuver captain's career course. Instead of the MI captain's career course. And so being able to learn what the infantry and armor guys are doing when they're building their plans from platoon to company, even brigade battalion level, like I know the language, I know what they're looking for, and like the level of detail that maneuver guys need to know. And so using what I learned at MCCC, I applied that to IPB with my analysts to like, okay, all right, we're here boots on ground looking at these buildings. Like, what are these buildings made out of? What's the material? Because like that's going to determine like what munition that we use to like target the compound, or like the rounds that could impact it. Is it made out of plywood? Can a round go through it and kill one of our soldiers that's inside? Like, so it's stuff like that, like level of detail. And then I took them to the bigger compound with like the tunnels at Fort Drum, the like one with the it had like 2 or 3 level story buildings. I can't remember
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, so we saw a small village, now a bigger one. Like, so again, same questions. What are the material of the buildings? And then like they didn't know that there were tunnels, and so the tunnel experience, showing them like, okay, what are we going to do now? Like, how do we explain this to the maneuver guys? Like, so I don't know. That was like a proud training moment for me to do that for them. And then coming back to you guys doing platoon sticks, I had asked if I could bring my guys on a lane to observe you guys moving. And so after doing our little like training sessions on the compounds, being able to see how you guys operate through the swampy terrain and the thick vegetation to get up to the hill and do a trench, like go do a breach, go through the trench, like all of that. They were just like, I could see like the wheels turning, the eyes popping, like, oh, okay, like I get it now.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So like that's how I coped with it. And
because I was just asked that question because I know sometimes they like I said they all they do all that they do all that hard work to develop all that intel and do all that stuff. Give like the commander a good picture, and sometimes it just doesn't go right? Like, and that it's not always going to go perfect, right? So it is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, we go back to Ranger Regiment. Anyone else?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess my other brag with Ranger Regiment was the Moab. Got to experience that out there, and like they literally came to our desk and was like, "All right, give us 7 spots that we could potentially like drop this thing." And so worked up target packages. They chose the mountainside and Momon Valley, and lo and behold, like some of the people, the civilians that have been there, like the civilians that they're there like forever. They just like live in Afghanistan. Yeah. They were jaded. They were so jaded because I guess the Moab talk has been like a thing forever. And
Des, can you tell the what the Moab is? Like, so I don't know if you get the deep, like, what is it? What does that mean?
First off, tell me what MOAB stands for.
MOAB, the Moab is the mother of all bombs.
That's right.
And so, they were like, the civilians were so jaded, like, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then like, once the bird took off, like it had to happen. Like, cause I guess I don't know the plane that was carrying it or something, but like once the bird was in the air, like it can't land with the Moab still in it, or else, like, so it has to be dropped. So once the wheels were up, then the civilians were like, oh, like this is for real happening. But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't any like specific like targeting like intention. Like we weren't trying to get a specific person or anything, but and I don't know like the like details as to like the more in-depth why like we dropped it. It was just hey, we need target packages, give us spots. Like there was no, so it's like, all right, roger that. But
it's a big show of force.
I think I don't know the why. I really don't.
Hey, we're gonna come blow up your valley, the whole valley.
But we found an underground network in the mountainside, and that was another lesson learned.
It's like fucking ants.
Real world stuff was just like, because we literally, I remember looking at the screens, saw it drop in, it exploded, and then it was like, this was at night too, and we all worked out at night once the shift was over, and so it's like, all right, cool, let's go to the gym. Like it was like water off people's back, like it was just like not this big of a deal. But it was interesting because after we dropped it, going to the gym, it was like already on the news. The reporting, like this is where I learned like the news isn't reliable. Like because the reporting that was happening, that I was seeing, just it wasn't true compared like from seeing it firsthand of like what actually is happening. So that was just another like real world kind of like experience for me of like, I don't trust the news as much. Like I don't like that was like, I'm not gonna
fake
trust
news
anymore.
Yeah.
But
fake news. Yeah.
But
that's
yeah,
cool,
so yeah, I had a really, really good time with Regiment. And I mean after that I came back to my job as XO for a couple more months, went to the maneuver career course. That's where I got pregnant with my little man, and we were going to go to Hawaii or Alaska, but with getting pregnant, we had to be close to family, and that's how we ended up at Fort Drum.
For us.
Yes. So Fort Drum showed up, and at that point I was due. I had Eric, took my maternity leave, and like right after leave I was put in the Brigade S2 shop with Major Wright. I don't know if you guys knew him.
Oh yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
He was in Afghanistan with me.
Mm-hmm. So he I was one of his AS2s, and he wanted me more like doing more FUOPs and CUOPs with the 3 shop, being an S2 representative in the 3 shop. So learned more about like how the brigade operates and all the tasks and stuff like that. and all that goes. And I joked with him because he was like, well, what if you were to go to a battalion, what battalion would you go to? And I was like, well, I remember making the drive, when you get your installation and you're like, oh, I'm curious, you want to get the lay of the land. I remember I was super pregnant and we drove by 431 and I saw George out there. I saw the polar bear and I was like, I want to go I looked at Austin. I was like, I want to go to that one. Like, I want to go to the polar bear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I told Major Wright that story and he's like, okay, will be possible. And he could, and again, Major Wright, again, another goofy guy, was joking with me and stuff like that. But he broke the news to me. He's like, Des, you got what you wanted. You're going to 431. There's an opening. And I was like, all right, cool. So like my brigade time was actually really short. But I'm really glad I got to go down to a battalion level and be a 2. When I showed up, it was January and they went to LTP and it was Colonel Wallace at the time. He was getting ready to switch out with you.
Yep.
And Colonel Wallace was like, he was a polar bear himself. Like he was,
he's like 6'10" or some shit.
Very intimidating for like brand new, like little me coming in to be the 2. And this is LTP. And I'm like, all right, this is my first time briefing. I had Galati with me and Brenner. I don't know if you remember those two.
I remember Brenner.
I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, let's see how this goes. And I honestly relied on the schoolhouse at that point. I was like, MCCC saved me so many times with like MDMP and the whole and then once I did my first brief and Colonel Wallace, he liked it. I was like, okay, I am doing this right. Because you don't want to sound like this schoolhouse nerd, just doing all the check and the block time. Yeah, but that's the only thing I knew and could rely on, and just adding your own personal flair to your briefing style. I thankfully he liked it. He liked the thought processes and how I understood the LTP problem set, and so I was like, okay, I'm good. Okay, that was a little confidence booster.
It does. Do a lot of intel officers go to the maneuver course? I'm not that. Is that a thing or is that?
No. No. We had none. We had none in my class when I went. That is not a common thing.
Yeah. So other MOSs, it's an application process. Yeah. So other MOSs can apply, and again, it's only if you get selected. And thankfully, I did, which made it easier. Got to be with my husband again, and obviously I got pregnant. Then PCSing together to Fort Drum, it's good. After going through LTP, getting that little bit of confidence boost, and then at the time, I didn't really know anybody in my shop yet. And so having to go back and I met Sergeant Buchanan and then Coons, I think it's Coons. Yeah. And Cameron. And then I have to give a shout out to Major Kuchara and Major Larpenter, because they I don't know, they understood me. They understood my thought processes. And I think, again, the MCCC being able to talk the talk and walk the walk, I was able to communicate with both of them where they could really teach, coach, and mentor me and mold me into being Polar Bear 2. Yeah. I couldn't. They
were just damn good human beings too. They were just fun to be around.
Yeah, for our listeners out there, so Adam Kuchiara, we all called him Cooch.
He's at West Point. He teaches at West Point now.
Yeah, he's up at West Point now. He was our S3, and then you had Jared Larpenter, who actually just came out of command of being Polar Bear 6. So congratulations to him. I doubt he's listening to us, but if he is, congratulations, Jared. He was our battalion XO. So yeah, Des hit the nail on the head. We could not have had a better S3 XO team. They were phenomenal.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Even at LTP too, having like, once I'm done doing my IPB and mission analysis and stuff, yeah, it's never ending. But as far as like, the ongoing steps of MDMP, being able to do all the COA analysis with like the S3 shop, like that further developed me. And like, I got to know Major Kuchar a little bit more and like his thought processes of how he planned operations and stuff. So I don't know. We had that little like sliver in our window, like for our offices, and I couldn't tell you the amount of times like that we'd be like yelling back and forth at each other. Or he'd be like, "Hey, Jess," I'm like, "All right, moving, sir. Like I'm coming."
Yeah, yeah. He's a character, man.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for him because I mean, going into like the deployment and stuff, like deployment has its stressors. Like there's you're gonna have your moments where you just break down, like crying, anger, whatever emotion and there were a couple times where I was really put to the test, and I like Major Kuchar is so understanding, like being able to have that trust where I could like be that girl, and just break down and cry to him. And like he could really he understood where I was going after, and then he could turn it around and pull it back up and make me super like motivated again and like confident. Like, so like, I don't know, there was one moment in Dwyer where I felt like such a failure. And like, it was when the dudes on the motorcycle came to the gate. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know. The other captains gave me such a hard time about that. And for some reason, like it just really broke me down. Like, again, it's just now that you guys know like my experiences with my career, that level of detail that I almost let something slip like that as from a security standpoint. Like I was like, oh my God, I don't know what would have happened if like something bad, like if that was way worse than it could have been. And I don't know. Again, the high tension deployment emotions, the guys were giving me a really hard time.
I think everybody was fucking frustrated about that deployment.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, like there was no like communication. Like we didn't know we were going home. We didn't know we were sending guys home like every damn week. It sounded like, and I think everybody was just
on top of that.
Everybody's just fucking. It was just frustrating, right? Yeah. It's a frustrating deployment. To be honest with you. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't. We can kind of reverse. We can start talking about some of our field exercises.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear. Let's talk about it. Let's hear it.
No, I felt so like VIP to like be able to be in the commander's vehicle. It's like, wow, okay, like this is really how it should be. The S2 goes wherever the commander goes, like, so it's just getting all the tea and all the gossip. I think it was me, you, Chris, Major Kuchara, and why I can't remember who your driver, but I can't. What was his name?
Manitos.
Yeah,
he was a cool little guy. He was a cool dude.
Yes, and like it was
Mikey Manitos.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That's right.
We say that all the time.
Stays in the vehicle, yes. Whatever, and then like you had your vehicle, and then my girl Rosie. We were like,
oh God, I love Rosie.
We were the ultimate like targeting team. I love being able to go like sit with her and be able to listen to like about what's going on in like the battle space and stuff, and just like
with Rosie, actually, so I forgot the first mountain peak. That was technically Rivers. Rivers was the driver for that one.
Oh yeah. Rivers. Okay.
Eventually, it became Dan Choi. Was the remember. Name so nice you got to say it twice. But yeah, no, for that first mountain peak, oh my God. Oh, Jerry, that one was horrible. I hated that mountain peak.
You're gonna make me have flashbacks.
Oh my God, so cold.
So much snow.
Just
yeah. We had that was a hard one for me because I remember I tell this story a lot, but it's like load management for like an infantryman was like one of the hardest things I think we had to like, because we went into that thing like with full packing list and the snow was so hot, like guys were struggling. I think General Menace was like, you guys got to kind of figure out how to load some of the weight. And We did. We figured it out. Like
Yeah.
we but it was hard. It was hard to take some of the weight off those polar bears, man, because that weather was just atrocious.
It was, and wasn't there was a blizzard while we were out there at one point, right?
Oh yeah.
And two.
Back to back. Yeah.
He's like, I remember.
Yeah. Is that the one, Chris, where you decided to go on a walk by yourself with you and your driver out in the middle of nowhere in the snow, and I couldn't see you and I lost vision or whatever?
Oh, fuck me.
But there's a vehicle that got.
No, I didn't go for a walk out in the fucking woods by myself. So we were about.
I'll take that back. You didn't do that.
We were about 24 to 36 hours from finally getting back into the mountain peak, and Colonel Larson calls all the commanders in. He's like, all right, I want everybody come into the brigade talk. We're going to talk about, when the gun goes off again, what we're going to do. Okay, got it. So Rivers and I jump in headquarters 6 in Vegas. We take off, and we're on the FLS at that point. We drive maybe 400 meters, and of course, fucking Rivers gets us stuck immediately. I'm like, God damn it, Rivers. So I get on the net, and I'm like, hey, Polar Bear 7, this is 6. Hey, like I'm 400 meters outside the wire. I need somebody to come pull us out of this rut or whatever.
Polar Bear 6 needs us again to get him stuck. He's unstuck again.
And I'm just so livid right now, right? Because I saw the rut the whole way, and I'm like, Rivers, go left, go left, go left. And of course he goes right. So I'm talking back and forth. I don't know if it was you or 3 or both of y'all, but y'all had no idea where I was. And I'm sitting in upper grid, and I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? I'm 400 meters. I can see you guys from here. Right?
I think I remember this happening.
Yeah. And so at this point, I'm angry. I get out of the fucking vehicle. I'm like, Rivers, fucking stay with the goddamn vehicle. I'll be back. I start walking. I get maybe 100 meters away from the vehicle. I turn around, and I can't see the vehicle anymore because of the fucking snow. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. They can't fucking, the snow.
Why.
Yeah. Some astrological shit with the way the wind was blowing and everything. Yeah, I was pissed. Pissed.
Do you guys remember? One of the mountain peaks. We had some fun with 214 and the scouts. We had our scout platoon and their scout platoon try and do like some kill capture missions on me and Austin.
Yeah, I think that was the second one.
And our scouts won.
Yes,
yeah,
they did.
I remember that. Yeah,
because they tried.
That was back when Kelly was still the scout platoon sergeant.
And they 214, I think they like stole an ambulance or something like that and like tried to come through to our battalion top.
Yeah, they did. They got almost close to our battalion top.
Yeah, and our security was on it. And once I knew, I like perked up. I'm like, I gotta go over there. Like I'm gonna take all of their notebooks, everything. It was so much good intel. Like, and we're
fucking
just
golden
like,
dragons, man.
Interrogating them. Oh, that was so fun. I was so proud of the scouts for doing that because we did some training with the scout platoon too. So like I had like relationships with them. So I was like, good job, guys.
You remember the one where this was the second mountain peak, so like September time frame of 2020. We had been going, I want to say 72 hours straight, just pushing. We hadn't been back to the talk at this point. We had adapted kind of the way we fought, right? So we only went back to the talk when we had to refit, and then the TAC went back out. And so it was one of those nights where you're like, hey, sir, I got the special coffee. I was like, oh, God, we got to wait. But it had been like literally 72 hours since I slept. And you guys were like, sir, you've got to get an hour of sleep between you and Cooch. I was like, all right, fine. So I pass out and I wake up to fucking Manitos on the mic yelling at like a company commander.
Yeah, dude.
He needs to fucking do this, that, and the other. And I'm looking, Cooch is fucking passed out. I think you're passed out. Manitos is on the radio.
No, I heard that. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Who's he talking to?
I'm just a fucking specialist. I'm like, God damn it. Manitos, hit me the fucking mic.
Yeah, when we heard you yelling, like, Or were you just shoot something? Oh God, no! Like, but I do remember there was one point like where I was the one awake, and I'm just like sipping my Red Bulls, and I'm working on my BDA, and like Major Kuchar is passed out next to me. You're passed out in the front. I'm just like vibing like with my little red light.
That's, that's it. That's a bond that the four of us in that vehicle, Sergeant Major and the medic in his vehicle, you.
I think I rode around with you for a little bit in the first one because
you did. You definitely
my vehicle's broke.
Yeah, you were definitely in there with me. I remember
because I had to drive. I was driving back from the range and my vehicle like blew up or something.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what the hell happened. I couldn't ride it. So,
it's a bond that like if you haven't done something like that, you just don't know.
I loved it. I'm so thankful for those experiences. Another memory I had was the 25 milers, and 431 had to be
31.
Yeah, extra special and do 31 miles. And I remember that was miserable.
31. 31.
After the field problem too, starting at the flight line and like, oh my God, and that route. And by the time we made it back on base and it's like hardball road.
Yeah. Like your feet are just destroyed.
Destroyed your feet, destroyed your knees. I remember high-fiving George and just like collapsing. I was like, oh my God.
So Jerry, I think, is probably the only person that definitely knew this. It might be one of the only people that still knows this. Like I still had to have a hip replacement at that point.
And you did it.
Yeah. Well, of course I did. I said I'm the one that fucking told us to do it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to not do it.
He had hip issues the whole time we were there. He's like, hey, you don't tell anybody, man. I got to get these hips done. I was like, sir, what the fuck are you?
I found out in January, the month before I took command, they're like, no, you need to get hip replacement right now. I was like, no, there's no way I can't do it.
No. There you go. That's Polar Bear 6.
Man,
he does it.
That's a stupid infantry officer right there.
Yeah. But I mean, you did it with the guys. So no, I just remember being with Webster, and Webster and I are just like bitching the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, terrible.
Every time we stopped, I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just like, oh my God, this hurts so fucking bad. Oh my God.
But that's like a core memory from Fort Drum is the infamous 25 milers. And we did the 31 miles. I did 25 with my company and no.
I think going back to like in the vehicle too, I think a lot of people look at the battalion commander as like, dude, that dude's like hard. Yeah. But when you spend time with the battalion commander in the truck for a little bit, you're like,
he is fucking hard.
Human, like
he is a hard motherfucker.
He's drilling on himself in the front, like he's dropping like can't find the mic, he's like so
it's a reminder that the commander is still very much human.
Yes.
Yeah, very much human. Yeah.
So it's great to see those experiences. And honestly, like it was so much fun being Polar Bear too, like for both of you, Commander and Sergeant Major, because like I don't know, building those relationships, building these memories, it's so much fun. And the fact that you guys trusted me as a 2. And then not only like, I don't want to bring like this whole stigma into it, but just being a female in the infantry world, like you guys welcomed me with open arms and there was never an issue. You guys never saw gender. Like, the big key word is just the trust that we had. And that I think is what made our working relationship just so well. Like you guys actually like listen to me. Like I've had leaders where it's just in one ear out the other. In order to get my ideas across, I have to go tell my counterpart who's a male and he'll say the idea and it's like, oh, that's great. Let's do it. And it's like,
I think too, Des, I think
thank you to both of you because like that made the working environment like so much better.
I think too, Des, like a battalion commander, and I'll speak on a battalion, like on the sergeant major side of the house. Sometimes the sergeant majors don't understand the warfighting functions and what they have in their battalion, right? So, like your S2 is pretty damn important, right? You got you know what I'm saying? It's you don't prioritize one like the company infantry guys over the HSC guys, right? Like who's an HAC, right? But like just building that trust with even even like, S2 or your S3 folks, or even your S4, like making sure that they feel welcome too in the battalion, and not just, hey, we're here to be some support
Right.
staff or whatever, because that's not the case. You're part of the battalion, and we can't function without the brain of the organization, which is, up there at the battalion headquarters. Right now,
Yeah.
do we do everything perfect? No, but I just think some leaders got to understand, man. You gotta take care of those folks too, man. They're important, right? So
Yeah.
So
you
I've
gotta
always
be, you
prided
gotta open your mind a little bit. So
Mhm.
I've always prided myself as an officer. Like it sounds a little cliche, but trying not to see gender, race, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Because you don't know this, and I'm going to tell you now. Steve Wallace and Matt Wright started talking to me when I was still the G5 about who the next Polar Bear 2 was going to be. And so Steve Wallace said, "Hey, Chris, it's going to be your battalion S2. So here, you pick." So I started talking with Matt Wright, and he laid, I can't remember the other files, but there were at least two other files I remember looking at. And it was a no brainer. The minute I saw your background, I was like, nope, it's her. I want her. And you proved me right.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, the culture that you guys built, like, I mean, I can speak on behalf of the staff. I don't know the company commanders, those relationships and stuff, but from the staff perspective, the culture, it was a very welcoming and good working environment. Yeah, there's the good days, there's the bad days, and it's just like, oh, we know when the commander's upset, we know when CSM's upset. All right,
I never got upset.
Like,
bullshit.
but just. Like, let's just get this shit done. Let's correct ourselves and let's go. And I learned a lot about predictability, staying ahead, like looking at the trackers and stuff. And like that prepared me, for company command, being able to see those relationships and how you guys interacted with the company commanders and stuff. So it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a hard time too, Des, because we were going through COVID, and then that damn deployment, and there was this. What if is something that's that whole time. It's like, what if? Like, what's going on? Like, so, yeah, that's crazy, man. That was a pretty rough. That was a challenging time.
Yeah. Well, and you brought up like another memory I have is just like with the deployment, like, and COVID. Like, do you remember like trying to get into Afghanistan, like all the COVID like protocols and the nose like swipes, and then like, wait, somebody was positive on the flight when we were all negative before, but then somehow somebody was positive when we were boots on ground in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, of the three of us, only one of us got quarantined. And it wasn't me, and it wasn't Des.
Whatever. Because you kept sending me around. I had to go visit everybody. So every time I had to go rotate, I get stuck in the face. Get to the finger.
That's the only reason I didn't go. It wasn't because General Miller said I couldn't. I just didn't want to get swabbed.
Yeah.
Those were so.
I don't know. It was crazy too, because I don't think we knew what we were getting into either. Because Des, I don't think we knew that we were going to be a base command team, and we were going to. There was going to be organizations on that base that's like we've never really worked with before, and they were all welcoming except for the first initial batch. But
from my perspective, did we know at that time too, like that we were going to be on that mission to shut down Afghanistan? Like, I remember that was pretty.
We had an idea,
but it just wasn't confirmed.
Yes, that we knew we were going to be closing bases. Period. We didn't know it was going to be all of them or how many of them it was going to be. But we knew we were going to be closing bases. We knew that going over almost immediately, we were going to probably send some people home right off the top. But yeah, so to that point, actually, I'm curious from your perspective. What were your thoughts when you found out, okay, 431 is now definitely deploying, and we're deploying without the brigade headquarters? It is just us.
I don't know. I was just like, all right, got to put my big girl pants on and like just try and figure this out. Like, I knew just from my prior experience, like, okay, first thing I got to do when I get there is like, I got to get integrated. I got to know what the hell's going on, like where we're at. And thankfully, all the partners that were on Dwyer with us, were so receptive and like were able to give us all the information that we needed. And as far as like all like those relationships with us being like, you know, the FOB command team, you know, me having to be the lead intel for all of those networks, given there were units there that were definitely more, I don't want to say like more important, but like, you know what I'm saying?
They were.
Yeah. So like having to be in charge of like that too, it was just like, it was a little intimidating, but once, I don't know, some of the people there that we met like brought us in, and I just don't know what I'm able to say. That's why I'm kind of stumbling on my words.
Yeah, I know which you're talking about, that element that was over in the corner of the base. Oh yeah. That's actually that's the one I usually wear, but since it's 4th of July week,
there you go. But yeah, so that was a cool relationship. Yeah. But I think
I still talk to them, by the way.
Yeah, no, I have an email, and I've been in the back of my mind wanting to reach out. And so maybe I should. Maybe this is a sign that I should do that.
Yeah, you should.
I know that those individuals wanted to hire me, but that was a 2-year hiring process that I just couldn't do. So it's just like, dang, that would have been really cool stuff.
Yeah. It's funny too, Des, because me and Chris we end up in these meetings, and we're in this room, and everybody's around us is like
no patches, no nothing.
Like no patches. They're talking about strikes on dudes, and shit's happening other places, and people are arguing about target packages, and we're like, and then there's Air Force special ops officers, and then General Miller's sitting there, and I'm like, me and Chris are like, what are we doing in here? What are we doing in here?
Like I run the base. Does anybody need food?
Yeah,
I can get you some water.
Yeah.
But I remember the hardest part was getting everybody on board with like some of our like exercises that we did. Like I remember in particular like trying to practice doing like breach, like what if the FOB gets breached and all that stuff, and trying to get all the players, and like
that's a sore spot. That's a sore spot.
I know, because
don't get me started on that shit.
I remember it was so angry.
So I like, dude, like BCO would go through, we'd have everybody start clearing everything, and there's like sore guys, like Ranger guys, like working out on the gym, and like, hey, can you guys, like, we're clearing this, can you guys stop for a little bit and go back to the, like,
just
we're doing a drill.
Just play the game, 1 hour,
please. Just play the game, right? And then one contractor told me, he's like, well, I talked to Polar Bear 6. He said I can be out here. I was like, who is Polar Bear? Who is he? What's his name? Like, you need to go back to your spot and get with the rehearsal, right? So, yeah, that was definitely, dude, I never would like to be a base command team like that. It just sucked because they're trying to get everybody aboard, and so.
Well, and then we can't forget the infamous truck.
Yeah.
That was like the hot ticket that, I don't know, that was the hill I was going to die on. I was like, we have to.
Dude, all I remember is you saying killing it. I was like, he wasn't killing it.
All right, hold let Des,
now you know why.
Des, paint the picture for us. Paint the picture for us. So
So yeah, I don't know. Like there was this, it was a red pickup truck that was, I don't remember the distance, but it was like in proximity to the FOB, and
100 meters, I believe.
And like there was a tube on the back of it, and it almost looked like maybe it could have been like a rocket, MLRS, something, so. But it was covered, and because the ROE was just, obviously just so drastically different from what I had experienced before, it's just like, okay, now I got to wrap my head around like, okay, we have to rely on the Afghan army now. Like they have to do this. And I just remember them saying, no.
I know.
We don't want to.
I think we stared at this thing for like 30 minutes. It could have lit us up at that point.
Yeah.
And so like I'm just like, are you for real? Like, please just go check it out. But I don't know. At that point, we were like, well, I remember like us on the floor, we're just like, well, fuck it. Like, I know Choi wants to do some target practice with his guys and like the fire, like the mortar platoon and stuff out there. So it's just like, let's go. And I mean, we soaked it enough that there weren't any individuals in the vehicle or anything. So like, no harm, no foul. We might make somebody upset that they lost their truck, but like,
well, and then we ended up getting the special boys in the middle of the compound involved as well.
Oh yeah,
they got good training out of that, man.
Yeah, they did.
Those little birds got some good training out of that shit. So that was good.
But yeah, I don't know. It ended up being we shot it, and I remember it was just like plywood.
Yeah.
But that is just. I mean, they were testing our security systems. I don't know. I firmly believe that. I think that's what they were doing. They were trying to see if we were still paying attention.
I stand by that.
We were also. Des, do you remember like the drones issues that we were kind of going through too?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do. I have like PTSD from that.
Right. I kind of do too, because I'm like, did that happen? And
well, knowing what we know now with like how big the drone attacks that are happening now, like in that how that kind of maybe was like a start, like the
precursor.
It's so crazy, but I don't know. I remember more so all of us, like it was just like the boy who cried wolf, because we just at that point we just became so paranoid. Like
people were seeing drones everywhere after that. I mean, literally.
We had our guy shoot at an aircraft.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
So like
shotgun.
So like, and like we were like, getting like astronomers involved, like, oh, it's a planet or it's a star or something. And I don't know, that was maybe something where I kind of, again, just maybe bad intel officer type of thing of just like being overly paranoid and just so trying to be a little bit more, I don't know, cognizant of like everything that's going on. But I mean, it became something, a level of concern.
I thought we had one fly over the chow hall.
We did. There were a couple that were actual, like confirmed, like there were drones, but we didn't have the capability then to like track them. We to like try and figure out where the point of origin was and like really what they were doing. But thankfully at that time they weren't like loaded with anything. There was no munition on it. It was just observation ops.
There was one in particular where we were able to track it, or maybe I'm thinking, no, that was an exercise.
But at that point, we became equipped and we were doing a bunch of tests.
Yeah, it was one of the exercises we were trying to see if we could track it. Yeah, but no, sorry, real quick, Jerry. One of the things, I don't know if you remember this, Des. It was the first time I had ever seen it. Is when they had figured out how to tie a mortar round or a munition to them. And I want to say it was up in Mazar-e Sharif. It was somewhere up there, I believe.
I remember that happening. I don't remember location though.
Yeah, and so they had actually figured out how to do this and get it to drop, and it had hit, I believe, one of the ANA or the Afghan National Air Force airplanes or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And so, then they literally started painting outlines of the aircraft on the runways to try to confuse the observers.
Yeah,
that was one of the first times, and kind of like you were saying, it's a great point, right? That was basically a precursor to what then would become
what we're
ubiquitous.
seeing.
All over the place in Ukraine.
Yeah. I think too, because looking at our defensive measures, we had stuff on the outside that could like destroy them before they get to the perimeter, but there was nothing that we could do if they breached the perimeter. Like there was nothing. I think we had drone defender, like a drone rifle, and then we had guys with shotguns, but we weren't. And then I know Ryan Hendrickson was trying his best to try to figure this shit out.
He had one of those ninjas. So he did that display for us out there. I don't. Were you there for that, Des? When he did the demonstration?
No, I don't think I was. I can't remember the guy who replaced me because we did a RIP in Afghanistan.
John Woislaw.
Yes, and so like because I got picked up for command at that point, so I was there for like the initial stages of like you guys shutting bases down, but like I wasn't there for like the end of it and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I just remember that becoming such a big deal. Even like General Schmidt, she's a mentor to me. She's somebody I look up to a lot.
She's great.
When she came down to kind of see what's going on, you know, that's when you realize like the severity of like what this is and what this is turning into and stuff. And I don't know, it was really cool listening to her assessments, listening to her talk. And there's one memory I have in particular. Chris went at one of those meetings. We were giving like assessments of what's going on and stuff. And like, this is when I knew like you fully like trusted me, because like you were like, Des, stop giving me all the lawyer like intel like give me all that intel talk. Don't stop with all that. What does Des think? And like that did not like compute in my head, because we were taught never to have like your own opinion, like building like a straw man thing. Like you have to use like what's given to you, like the facts and stuff. And so like, I don't know, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, he really trusts me and values like what I have to say and what I have to think. And I told you what I truly really thought, and you're like, I agree with that. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. Like, and you did that in front of General Schmidt, and she was like nodding her head in agreements and stuff too. And I was, wow, this is like,
I actually remember that conversation. It was, I can't remember exactly the details, or if we can even talk about them, quite frankly. But yeah, so for the people that don't know, so General Schmidt, she was our DCGS, our Deputy Commanding General Support back at Fort Drum. So we had, at least as a unit, a relationship with her before she came over to Afghanistan. I had the opportunity to brief her several times as the G5 before I went and took command. And then actually afterwards, I don't know if you remember, Jerry, when we were having all those issues with our weapons and the saws kept breaking and kept breaking and kept breaking.
Don't get me started on that.
Oh, I know. So she was the first GO in the chain of command that I was able to brief on that and whatever. But phenomenal leader. And I don't want to say I know her or knew her, but I was comfortable briefing her, right? And I knew what would resonate with her. And at this point, General Miller being in the room as well, I mean, sure. You don't get, okay, first and foremost, you don't get to be a GO unless you know how to chew ass at some point in your career, right? You don't suffer fools. But having said that, same scenario where at this point I am comfortable in my own skin. Maybe there's an argument to be made. I was feeling it a little too much, but I don't think I was cocky at that point. But I also knew you, and I knew the assessments. We talked about them all the time. And so that's why I was very frank. I was like, no, what do you think? Tell me what you think, not what this says. I can read that. We've read that. What do you think? And at some point in time, you know, as a leader, you've got to be able to do that. As an officer, as an NCO, you can do all the MDMP, all the mission analysis, all the design, but at some point in time, you have to put your physical stamp on it and say, this is what I think, and this is what I'm going to bat for.
Yeah, but that the generals want to hear that too, man.
They do.
Like, you know, I think General Menace told us this one time. He was like, "Hey, man, I'm just looking for the truth." You know, like being around his position and people constantly telling him like what he wants to hear. Like it's good having like General. I think she's like, what, is she still the 7th ID first division commander? I think
so.
Yeah,
I'd have to check. I
know they're getting ready to transform, but yeah, I think she was the 7th infantry division commander for a while. But she was very good. Like even when she would come to the motor pool, like I felt comfortable to talk to her. Like she just had that persona, and she would listen to you. She wouldn't blow you off or anything. She would like take your input, even if I was giving her dumb shit. She would still listen. So yeah, I agree, Des. I think they interact. I even talked to her in West Point when I was at West Point. She was still the same. So General Miller as well. General Miller was the same guy you could sit and BS with, and he still listens to you. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
I remember being in the vehicle with him and going to do a KLE with the ANA guys.
Yep.
Were you there? I think you were, Chris, when they were giving us like all the gifts and it was like really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Really uncomfortable.
And yeah, they're like, I hope you come back and stuff like that, you know, being really polite. And it's just like,
because I think at that point we knew we weren't coming back.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And so we
like,
just hadn't said anything.
Scarves and gifts.
Yeah.
It was really awkward and uncomfortable.
Do you still have yours?
Sarah being uncomfortable too.
Do you still have yours?
The scarf?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's somewhere. I don't know.
I tried to, we'll say, misplace mine in one of my moves, and my wife was like, "No, you can't do that."
Yeah, no, I don't think I have it because I remember having that talk where like, this was a little suspicious. Yeah, because like maybe that's why I haven't seen it because I'm like maybe it's somewhere, but yeah, it's been misplaced. Whoops.
Yep.
And Des, I tell you from my perspective, you did a hell of a job. Like you were awesome. Like,
well, thank you.
Just, you know, I think me and Chris, even the guy that replaced you was good too. So we had some really good S2s in that battalion.
We did.
Well, I mean,
not just officers, CTOs too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, sorry to cut you off, but like I can't do my job without like my analysts. Like they do all the work for me. Even the guys doing all the collection with like all the assets out on the talk floor, like all being a part of the team. Like Sergeant Webster. We had Mumblo over the horizon helping us out and stuff. And then I don't know if you guys remember him. I have to give him a shout out. He is literally my best friend. This deployment brought me my best friend. But I don't know if you remember that weird guy that showed up when we were there and he was all covered and he would only show his eyes and he'd have like bandanas and scarves covering him. But Bobby, our analyst.
Oh, Bobby. Yeah, I remember Bobby.
Really long hair. He had his bun. Eventually, he's like, he jokes. He's like, I was just trying to build your trust. I didn't know who you guys were and stuff like that. And like them playing the whole COVID card. But yeah, once all the scars and stuff came off, I remember he did it for Sergeant Webster first. And Webster was like, he goes, I know what Bobby looks like. And I was like, what? That's not fair. Like, and so, but yeah, no, I couldn't have done it without them. Like the team back there, back in the skiff. And like, we'd stay up late working on our reports. We boost morale. We'd have like a little disco ball thing going. We turn the lights off, make it.
I remember all that.
Full blown skiff, turn the lights, we get our little lights going and just nugging away on all of our reports and stuff. But without Sergeant Webster and Bobby, like I couldn't have done my job. Yeah. They were the meat and potatoes to all of it. So
you had a really good team back there.
Yeah,
you had a really cool skiff too. That part of that building was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Compared to the rest of it.
Tunnel. Like,
yeah.
Like I was surprised it was like accredited to be a skiff. Like that whole talk because it was just plywood.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but yeah, no, it was good times. Good times.
Nice.
So
yeah. So did you go ahead, Chris? Sorry,
I was just gonna say, so you left us.
Yeah. So left you guys. I was fortunate enough to get picked up for command, and to be honest, I never really had company command as like a big goal of mine. But I think through just the boost in confidence of what I was doing as a 2, like I was like, I could do this. So yeah, I don't know, throughout the like interview process with Major Wright and stuff like that. Or I can't remember who came after Major Wright, but anyways, got selected for command and to be the MICO commander. Like this is the one, it's competitive. Like it's the one company in the whole brigade that provides intel for the brigade commander. So, and then like, not only do my guys in the company, like I'm training and mentoring them and molding them to be analysts for the battalions. So like, I don't know, it was, I get it now when people say like company command was like my favorite job, like in the Army. Definitely, I loved being a company commander. And don't get me wrong, Polar Bear 2 is like close second. I love being a polar bear. I still have my polar bear stuff like on my desk at work. Like, so I take pride in being a polar bear. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough job being a company commander. And I could not imagine being a battalion command team and like having to manage like seven different companies.
It's easy. You just hire people like you.
Yeah. But
I think the company, like, I love being a first sergeant too. I was just like, that was some of my funnest times in my career as well. Like, it's just the nature of the things, and you got a group of young individuals working under you. You have, you have the direct mentorship there.
Mhm.
You can
It's
go
honestly,
through hardships together.
Jerry, it's
awesome.
the last unit that you're in where you have the ability to know everybody in that unit, like by name.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't compare. Right. Battalion Command was phenomenal. I loved it. I wouldn't change it for the world. But like you, Des, my company commands with the 173rd. I'm sorry, just it pales in comparison.
He would usually turn the camera over to his 173rd flag, but it's right there right now.
Well, yeah, I guess I got my guide on is over there.
There you go. Yeah.
Who was your first sergeant when you first
so I went through a couple at first. When I first showed up, it was Master Sergeant Cote.
That's right.
And I had a female XO. I can't remember her last name, but her name was Kate. And so it was like 3 women like in charge of the company when I showed up, which was pretty cool, but it was short-lived. And then I had Sergeant Haynes fill in for a little bit until I ended up with First Sergeant Sherman. And that dude is my battle buddy, my ride or die.
I remember him. Yeah.
He, again, goofy guy. Somehow I always get partnered up with these goofy dudes. He was my best friend. I trusted him. He trusted me. He made me a better officer. Like that was because like being in a S2 shop, it's so much smaller. So you don't really learn like that officer NCO like relationship that much in depth. And like really, having to have, I had anywhere between 120 to 130 soldiers. So like of all, ranks. And so in my mind, because like my shop, I'm so used to a small shop, I can correct people on the spot. Yeah. Right. But my first sergeant actually like pulled me aside and be like, this is NCO, like let your NCOs do this. Like, and he really taught me to kind of take that step back. I don't need to be in control of everything and just trust. And that's one of the relationships I built with my platoon leaders, my warrant officers, my platoon sergeants. I told them, I was like, you guys have my trust from the get-go. But the moment you lose trust, that's when I'm going to be the monkey on your back, always involved in wanting to know everything.
Yep.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. And so I had the best company. I really did.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bad apples here and there. Like it's going to happen. And you're going to want to pull your hair out and dealing with it. My first sergeant and I have some wild stories. But like, I am so proud of the Dark Knights. I am proud to be Dark Knight 6. It was so cool being able, again, the intelligence community, each of my platoons had a different play within the ints. So I had first platoon was my all source, second platoon, Humint and SIGINT, third platoon was EW. And with all the drone activity and stuff happening, that EW platoon was getting really involved in like all of that training. So like just butterfly ripple effects, right? And then I had my fourth platoon, which was the UAS guys. They were actually like out on the flight line over with the shadows. And then I had my fifth platoon, which was my IEW. Those were the tangos. They are the linchpin that make everything work and make all the systems work. And so like anytime anything went down, the tangos were on it. But, and then again, like coming for full circle with the XOs, like my XOs were phenomenal. I got to work with Galati again, Lieutenant Abbott. And then I believe Lieutenant Wheeler took the seat like as I was transitioning out.
Because Kaladi was he was your 4th platoon leader, right? Initially?
He was my first platoon
First
leader.
platoon? Okay.
Yeah. And then he came in to be XO. But having him as my AS2, becoming my XO, we had already had that trust. And like he knew how I operated, I knew how he operated. And so it worked out really well. But those guys, my XO.
I think it's challenging too, Des, because I'm looking at your company command, like it's a lot of different, it's all different MOSs or different job specialties or skill sets. Compared to like an infantry company commander, just has the 11 Bravos and it's pretty straightforward, right? But like going into that company and then have to manage all that, they're all different human beings. Everybody's different. Everybody's got a different career path. Everyone wants to do something different. And then you and your first sergeant getting together and kind of leading that and kind of guiding that and making a hell of a company, like you said, that's hard. I think it's super hard, but I think from what it's successful. You guys did a hell of a job. So, but out there, man, the people that are folks that are listening, just understand, man. Sometimes, like within those organizations, like the MICO or some of our other organizations out there that aren't typically like infantry, it's hard, man, because it's just a mixture of different skill sets, and you got to manage that as a company commander and first sergeant. And there's more than just the job. There's a sit down and talk about where you want to go as a person, where you want to go as your next level of whatever, So a lot of mentorship going on in those companies, man, a lot. So it's pretty badass.
I definitely learned too throughout my career, like it's okay to say I don't know. So like having like all of the different ints involved in my company, like people would expect me, like I'd have to be like the all-time expert on all of it, and it's like the reality is it's like no. And so again, it's like just relying on my team. So I relied heavily on like my warrant officers. If I ever had a question, they'd always have that answer for me. Or if I wasn't comfortable going into like a briefing because like the level of detail of like what needs to be explained, like I'd be like, would you mind coming with me? And like, oh yes, ma'am, like I've got your back. Like, and so we just had a really good dynamic. And then it was also really cool within being the MICO commander, because like again, it's a brigade asset. So like having to have that relationship with the brigade S2 shop as well, and like understanding what's going on in all of the battalions and like where can the MICO enable and leverage training that's going on, and within the brigade headquarters, but also all the battalions. And so just having to be in the loop of all the training events and trying to get my guys trained and involved with like the infantry and stuff. So yeah.
It's awesome. So you go through command. Any crazy stories you want to share with us?
Crazy stories from command. I don't know. We lost a shadow one time. That was fun. Went down and I got that call in the middle of the night because my platoon was doing night training as they should. Like it was all fine. But like, yeah, shadow went down. So I had to come in for that. I guess small brag, but the company like aced our MITS training. So the MI training strategy. And we did it in February, and when it's like -degree, like super cold, which was never done before. My command was the first time to ever accomplish MITS tier 2, tier 3, something like out in like a field environment like that. And all of my guys passed with flying colors. But I don't know, you put me on the spot. I can't think of really anything like wild, crazy. I mean, I've been yelled at by a soldier before and I could not believe what was happening. And like, yeah. So that was a eye opener of like, whoa, like,
yeah. I think our moments, Des, for me and Chris, was like our like Thursday night court. Those were, and there was times where me and Chris looked at each other and we're like, we don't know what the fuck we both are stumped. Like, what do we do here? Like, so, and it's again a leadership challenge. But I was thinking, Chris, did we lose a Raven one time? and we had to go find it somewhere. She's
Yeah.
talking down drone. I know this is different. This Raven's a Raven, but
Yeah,
it was
no,
the snow, and we couldn't find it or something.
no, it wasn't snow. It was platoon live fires. I think it was.
I thought it turned into a big deal. Is what it
Wasn't
was.
it?
I guess
Wasn't it Delta Company?
I don't know. Sorry, she said the down thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
For some reason.
I want to say because Delta Company was like the only company I remember that tried to get the Raven up and operational, and it was
Yeah.
on that huge maneuver range out there, for the mounted maneuver. And I want to say it like they lost connection with it, and it went off into the woods somewhere, and then we had to go chase it down.
All right, sorry to bring that up. I just something popped in my head.
No, it's a memory trigger.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So where'd you go after company command?
Well, actually, I was sitting here thinking about like some memories and stuff, and like I know I was kind of put in the seat to be a little bit more of like a morale booster for the company, and I know. So for my leaders, I got to put this out there. We were the Dark Knights, and so Knights of the Round Table, and so we would do like monthly or like quarterly like round tables where we'd all go out, get some drinks, get some food, and just like socialize. And it was like, I don't know, that was a lot of fun. Good memories, like craziness, how that can be. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. But
those are the best times. Those are the best memories, right?
Yeah, no, I'm really grateful to have been the MICO commander. I love my Dark Knights. A lot of pride.
It's so nice that COVID didn't stop you from doing it. So.
Yeah, well, the one I had to get my COVID shot in order to leave Afghanistan and go take command. So got my shot, but then we still had to do all the boosters and everything, and that was the pain trying to get the soldier. Now I understand what you guys were trying to do to get everybody to get their shots, because it was coming down on me then as a company commander, like, you guys got to get your booster shots.
That's why Jerry and I had pictures of us getting the shots, and we like put it all out there. Hey, look, Polar Bear 6 and 7 are getting the shot.
Yeah, I hated it. I could not stand it, and I was like, shit, because I don't know. I was traveling around. I think some of those medics would just stick that thing into my brain on purpose, and it was so miserable. Sorry.
I know.
More flashbacks.
Yes, I know. It's okay. But no, after command, nothing against the intelligence community. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it. And anybody that knows me, like, I still talk about it. I don't know. It's a problem that I have. I know it's a problem. But I switched over to the acquisition side of the house. At the time, like, I was still married. So being dual military and having a kid, the op tempo of intel and like the career progression, and then like, again, dual military with Austin's career, it just becomes too much. And then he and I both decided, like, we both switched over to acquisitions, and it's definitely been a much slower lifestyle. Like, you can finally like stay afloat.
Yeah.
There's moments when like it gets high op tempo, as with any job, but it's definitely a different perspective of military operations. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Des, I kind of work in that world now as a contractor, but it's picking up a little bit, a little busy, getting busier, but yeah, it's got ebbs and flows. I don't work in the green suiter side, but yeah, it's fun. It's a fun job.
Yeah. But yeah, so within acquisitions, it's the functional area 51, and there's either the 51 Charlie or the 51 Alpha route. The Charlie route is contracting, being able to write contracts. So like when we go to field exercises and say we need porta potties out there in the field, like there is a contract being written for those dudes to deliver porta potties for platoon sticks. Like, so writing contracts. And then there's the 51 Alpha route, which is the program management side of things, which is the bigger procurement, like getting the new tanks, new weapon systems, new systems, tech. Yeah. So all of that. Originally I had joined to go more the program management route. I really wanted to get involved with intelligence capabilities and try and be on that side, just to continue to make an impact on that on the warfighting function. But Being dual military, needs of the Army, the contracting route was where we were pushed. So got a little bit of contracting experience. I was with 408th Contracting Support Brigade, CSB. They're attached and they work with ARCENT and ARCENT's missions out with CENTCOM.
They supported us out at Dwyer.
And so, yeah, so side story, that contractor, that contracting officer, that major that was helping us at Dwyer, I'm sorry. I'm sure he's probably not listening, or I hope he listens. Maybe, I don't know. But like, I am so sorry. I feel like we just didn't understand like that side, that world, the acquisition world and stuff. And knowing what I know now, that poor guy was a brand new like lieutenant, because that's exactly how I feel. Like that switched over into this contracting job, and like, guess what, bud? You're shutting down Afghanistan. Good luck.
Yeah.
So I could not imagine being put in that position, like, because it is drinking from a fire hose. Like there is so many intricacies and like that go into acquisition as a whole, whether it's contracting or program management. And so like, yeah, it's a slower op tempo, but like you really need to like know your stuff in order to keep things operational and running.
Yeah. I think it's big now because the warfare battlefield is changing so dramatically at this point, right? So the getting the technology out to the force, it's got to be a faster pace than it was in the past. So now is what it is. So yeah, man.
I'm experiencing that in the job that I'm in right now. So after I did my contracting job at 408th, I went to the Naval Postgraduate School. I got my master's degree in systems engineering management, which is like a fancy business degree, acquisitions degree. It has the word engineering in it. And so I just want to caution, like, I'm not an engineer. Math is not my forte. But definitely that I'm glad that Naval Postgraduate School, we were able to learn more about acquisitions. But yeah, math.
And oh, by the way, it's in Monterey. You can't beat that. So.
Monterey, another hidden gem. Yes. So, but yeah, now I am a test officer with Operational Evaluation Command. And I'm specifically in the Rapid Capabilities Division. So what we're talking about, trying to get technology to the soldier, to the warfighter faster. And so more specifically, I'm assigned as the test officer for 2-5 CAV, and they have a mission. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's called TIC, Transformation in Contact.
Oh yeah.
And so
that started over in Europe when I was there.
Yeah, and so they're able to contact vendors more directly. So like if they're interested in a capability, instead of the vendor reaching out to like an acquisition person and going through that whole process, it's more direct. 2-5 sees something like, oh, we want to play with that drone, like boom. And like, so, I mean, of course there's processes and procedures to get the tech integrated, but with me, I am actually, my team, we're doing a lot of data collection and observations of like how that system impacts the warfighter, how it impacts decision-making, operations, so on and so forth. And it's a competition, and like at this point, so like if the tech can't keep up through so many like iterations and can't keep up with the requirements, like then they kind of get the boot, and then we get more technology. It is fast. It's fast paced.
Yeah, I saw that firsthand over. Like I said, when I left command, I went over to Germany to be the chief of ops over there, and at the time the G3 was then Brigadier General. Oh my God, brain fart. Anyways, he's now the 4th ID commander, and so he's the one that is kind of honchoed next gen C2 command and control. And so we kind of, on the SIPR side at least, started all of that, and it started with us trying to pull in Maven, Palantir, all those different things for command and control systems inside the Command and Ops Intel Center we were doing. Then they brought in, and I'm not even going to try to remember the unit's name, but they brought in the first unit that was transforming in contact, so to speak, to Europe to then do it over there. And yeah, I mean, it was fascinating to try to see and keep up with, okay, well, we want to do this. So let's try to get this. Let's get this over here. Nope, this doesn't work. Get rid of it. It's not moving fast enough, right? To see the iterations and the life cycles move through that process. I mean, Jerry does that now on that side. I'm a year out from retiring. All the jobs that I'm looking at, it's all about that sort of stuff is how do you keep up with that life cycle in order to make yourself useful and profitable for the military or Department of War or whoever. To be on that side in your shoes right now, that's got to be extremely fascinating to watch.
Yeah, no,
it shows you, man. It shows you, like, really too, what I've seen. Like, we're a pretty lethal country. Like, there's a lot of things going on in Ukraine, yeah, but I tell you, like, we are not too far behind in some of this stuff, man. We're getting better, and we're learning. Our you know our country or our services components are learning pretty fast, man, and trying to stay proficient and try to stay with the new TTPs that are out there and adjusting very, very well. So yeah, it's good. It's pretty, like you said, man. It's pretty interesting. There's some really cool things out there that everybody's working on. But yeah, you got to, man. The battlefield is pretty soon we'll have like
ever changing.
It'll be like Terminator out there. We're gonna have like walking robots and
They're
flying ships.
using the term forward line of robots now.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, instead of a flat, there's a forward line of robots where now they're using, drones to be out there in front of the scouts. It's just, it's crazy. This whole like wave methodology of how they're placing.
It's like a huge kill chain.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Forward line of robots. Wow.
From the tech side, for me, with the smaller platforms, and then I've got coworkers doing like larger platforms, like testing the new XM30 and the Amphi 30 and stuff like that. And so seeing how those get integrated into formations and all that. So yeah, we'll see. It's right now the tempo is starting to pick up because we all do a lot of tests out at NTC. So with an NTC rotation coming up, like the field training exercises are picking up where we can test these capabilities.
Hey Jerry, I bet if she was our acquisition officer at Fort Drum, we would have had new saws.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really look at it, Des, though, I don't know how much longer you plan on going, but like I don't think you're gonna have a hard time finding a job outside the Army with the acquisition side and the intel side. Like, you're gonna definitely do very well for yourself. So
yeah, that's I just hit 12 years last week, so and got 8 months. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm eager to see where acquisitions takes me. It's up in the air. Like, we can, within the FA51 world, you can switch between contracting and program management. So I'm going to be in this next move cycle, and there's going to be interviews going on. So Lord knows where I'm going to end up, whether it's a program or with contracting. So
is there still, within the acquisition world, is there still commands? Is it still, could you be a battalion commander or whatever? That's still a thing,
she will
right?
Be.
I know, but I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yeah. So on the contracting side, yes, there's battalions and brigades. On the program side, the echelons are more at like from a program perspective, like there's different systems of systems. So like as an 04, like I would be a manager for one of the smaller systems that make up the bigger one. And then for 05, like, or an 06, then you are like that program manager, like as a whole, like, and then you basically in charge of like an entire program, like office. It's not really like framed as like a battalion.
Right. Yeah.
Different language.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. I mean, it's I don't know.
It's a new world. I'm
think
still
it's
learning about it. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's been 4 years. I'm getting more and more comfortable with it and accepting the fact that I'm an acquisitions officer now and I'm not Intel. It's kind of hard not being so like in the loop of things anymore. That's like, I think the hard part.
Yeah, but Des, you're making a huge difference for the force, though. Like
yeah,
that's
no, I still take pride in that though. Yeah.
like you. I mean, it might not seem like a lot, but like you're getting them what they need, and getting them what's important, and keeping them relevant in the fight. I think that's the best way to think about it. So
Yeah.
sorry, Chris, I cut you off.
No. All I was going to say, so the awesome thing about your career path, right, is it almost, while unconventional, in not a straight line, it's almost like each previous position has kind of set you up for success in the next position, right? So in the Intel side, you go into the counter Intel piece, you start learning patterns of life and realize, oh, this is really fascinating. I like this. You move over into the kill chain side of things with JSOC, right? And it starts to mature a little bit over there. You come back to the conventional side, become a micro company commander. You start seeing a lot of the different assets and things. You already knew they were there, but you actually start controlling some of those at your level. And now you're moving over into the acquisition side where you're able to now draw on a lot of that knowledge and that background of, okay, I saw this over there. I played with this stuff over there. Maybe this is something, as the Army starts to move its way into the next generation command and control, whatever that is, how can I pull on my background to then say, okay, yes, maybe this is something the warfighter needs, right?
Yeah.
Because you were a warfighter. In every sense of the word, as far as I'm concerned, you were a warfighter. And to be able to pull on that and then take that and push it forward, now you've got a unique perspective where all three of us know not a lot of people can do that, right? A lot of people shy away from being in an infantry battalion or going to Ranger Regiment or doing things like that, where you gain that firsthand experience of what the soldier physically on the ground sees and does and needs. So it's pretty cool, right? You're set up to be able to draw on that and use that experience.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's actually, I'm grateful for this job that I'm in now too, because I'm still like talking to soldiers and talking to like leaders, being assigned with 2-5 Cav as their test officer. So getting to be integrated still. My job is kind of like a coaching type of thing. So like, I don't know, I'm kind of like a glorified like AS3 in a way. I'm not like the S3, but like I'm still there trying to understand their con ops and like how my test team can get involved. But like with the experience that I have being a 2, and then like seeing like how Major Kuchar ran like the 3 shop and just my company command experience, like I'm able to like still be involved with these conversations to help like make 2-5 Cav better. And so it's a really unique job and perspective. And I agree, like having that perspective, Chris, of like, yeah, like it's been like a ripple effect. You're right. My jobs have kind of aligned me for the next one pretty well.
Yeah.
And
it's been a pretty badass career for 12 years, man.
Sometimes like when you're in it, like it just doesn't, like with my 12-year anniversary happening like a week ago, like it was like, and then with this podcast, it's given me time to reflect. And like in the moment, like when you're not really thinking of it and the day-to-day is going by, it's just like whatever, like, it's like, yeah, it's the Army. Yeah. But when you actually sit there and really think about like what you've done, it's just like, wow, like I really did do a lot. Like I really did have a really cool career. Like
you did.
And like, I appreciate you guys bringing me on from a different perspective, because having a lot of dudes that are more infantry focused, like, I don't know, like sometimes like seeing stuff like that, it's just like, did I do enough? But like, I really did. Thinking about this podcast and stuff, like it's really cool. And so I
Des,
appreciate you guys inviting me to make me think about these things again. Like it's really
Des, we could like you're like all our guests. We had some really heavy hitters on here,
Yeah.
some really good ones, and you're up there. You're up there with them too. So like we wouldn't invite you on if we didn't think you had a good story, man. So like it's I'm just excited for what you got in the future. Like you still 12 years, you still got 8 years left to still do some fucking amazing things. Sorry to cuss words. Maybe more, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. That's pretty. I mean, I know you're doing the mom thing now too, and you know, all the other stuff. But yeah, I think you're in the right job for that. And I think to me, acquisitions right now is very important, and it's going to set us up for success in the future. Future warfare that's going to come here pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
no,
makes sense.
Yeah. I'm excited. We'll see where Des ends up.
Yeah. So Des, do you have anything else that you kind of want to talk about? Is there anything else that we need to hit on?
Anything we missed?
No,
we missed?
I'm honestly
'Cause
like
you're gonna get off this. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna get off this. And you're like, I should have talked about that. That's what I did when I did my first one.
no, I think the only one memory that I can think of, and I know like I texted you guys about it, but it's got to be recorded. It's got to be documented. Is when at Dwyer when we were doing the patching ceremony. That was another core memory for me. And now that I've told my story and you guys know what I've done, and like General Menace was like really heavy on like everyone's wearing the 10 pound patch. And I just remember I don't have a good poker face. And I just remember making that stink face. Like, I don't want to take my JSOC patch off.
Yeah.
And I know you knew that, Chris. I knew you knew that because when we did the patching ceremony, you came over to me and you're like, I'm sorry, Des. And you just threw the 10th mountain one on. And I was just like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I've got pride in that deployment too. Met a lot of good people and stuff. But yeah, no, I've never
agreed with that, to be honest with you. I was like, because like I never agreed with making everybody wear the same patch, right? Because to me, like my combat patch means something to me. You know, Chris's 173rd means something to him. There's a lot of guys that, you know, lost a lot of buddies and stuff that have that patch and kind of say, hey man, like take that fucking thing off and wear a 10 mount patch. I get where they're coming from. I understand, but it just feels shitty when you have to do that to everybody, you know? So, but yeah, whatever. But
you do it, baby. Climb to glory.
Climb to glory.
Climb to glory.
Climb to glory.
But no, I think that's it. Honestly, thank you for giving me this platform to reminisce.
You're not done. I got one more for you. I got one more.
Okay.
Gary normally asks this when I thought he was going to, and he may have, but I'm going to jump in there. So you've had a very good, if not stellar, career so far. Mm-hmm. How about some advice for a young officer coming up?
I was going to ask that, but you took it.
Okay.
I figured you were, but
advice for a young officer.
Male, female, doesn't matter.
Bottom line is just trust the NCOs. A lot of officers like to come in and think like, oh, I outrank you just because like I'm an officer, like being a second lieutenant or first lieutenant, whatever. Even some captains struggle with it. I've seen where they just don't respect the NCOs or like senior NCOs. And in my mind, I respect the time and service that they've had. And so to me, they like outrank me just because of like what they've experienced, and they have more knowledge in all of this. So just work well with your NCOs, respect them, and build that trust with them. That's like the big thing like I've seen is for a big piece of advice. And just, I don't know, just go with your gut, and it's okay to say, I don't know.
I like that one. I'm a huge fan of that one, by the way.
You got to be humble. You got to be humble, man.
Yes.
Yes. You got to be humble, and you got to get everybody's buy-in.
Because like it's okay to say I don't know, and just there you can go and find the answer for it. And I honestly, that goes back to Colonel Laron, my ROTC instructor. we had open note exams, and the reason why is because, and I see it now just being an intel officer too, it's just like you can always find the answer for it. You just have to know where to look. And so it's okay to say, I don't know, sir, ma'am, but I'll write that down and I'll get back to you.
It's gotten more people in trouble than I can count, just because they couldn't admit that they didn't know something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that's my little tidbit.
Yeah.
Some Des guidance.
Cool. All right, I'll say a couple words. I'll turn it over to Chris, and then we'll give you the last closing comments, Des. So, again, thank you for coming on here. And this was a really good. This was a fun one. It's always fun to have a good laughs and just talk some stories, and So I think this one's going to do very well out there when we post it. So I appreciate it, you coming on here and spending time with us, like I said in the beginning, and just coming on our show, man. Like we're a small podcast, and we try to get good human beings on here. It's not really about combat. It's not really about this or that. It's just good people that we know that have good stories, and it's just a fun time. So we appreciate it, Des. Thank you so much for coming on here, and I'll turn it over to Chris.
Yeah, this has definitely been one of the more fun ones that I've done. Some of the others have gotten quite serious and arguably even a little dark. I knew talking with you and Jerry, this would be fun. And it was, and I can't thank you enough I know I reached out to you kind of out of the blue, but Jerry and I had been talking about you for a while behind your back. And yeah, so Jerry, I really want to get her on here, and I can't thank you enough for coming on. For all our listeners out there, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe or give us a follow. Okay. We really need the feedback. Give us comments. You can tell us how bad we were and how good Des was. We're used to that. But yeah, over to you for final comments.
Well, the only thing I got to say is polar bears.
Yes. Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and then we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Thanks, guys.